Hi, welcome to my video on a circle. And with the circle, I'm going to discuss the definition, the radius, the diameter, and finding the circumference, etc., etc. Okay, let's start. First of all, to draw a circle, you need a compass. This is a compass that draws a circle. So what I'm going to do is measure off a compass. Compass marks off arc lengths or a circle. So I'm going to measure off 2 centimeters. From 10 to 8 is 2 centimeters. I'm going to place the compass at the dot 0, 0 being the center. So the compass is placed, the point on the compass is placed at O, and that will be the center of the circle. So I'll rotate the compass and you'll see me draw a circle. So there's the circle I'm drawing. I have the camera overhead, so you know, if you've used these before, then you know what I'm doing. So here's a circle drawn, and the radius of this circle is 2, because I used the compass. A circle is a set of points equal distance from a fixed point. The fixed point is called a center, and the equal distances are called the radii. When we say equal distance, the distance from the center to the, so that's O to center. So if I place a point A out on the circle, and I place a point B out on the circle, and a point C out on the circle, these are points that lie on the circumference. A circle is made up of many, many points. It says a set of points equal distance from this point. This is the center, and all of these points that lie out here, A, B, C, I can keep going. There's an infinite number of points lying around here. So if I join up OB, OD, AO, and OC, notice that because this is drawn with the protractor, then OA is equal to OB is equal to OC is equal to OD. All of these are called the radii. They are the distance from the center to a point on the circumference, and they're all equal. So I said it was 2 centimeters. So that's 2, that's 2, that's 2, and that's 2. So starting off, notice a circle is a set of points equal distance from a fixed point as you rotate. That would be similar to taking, in the old days when they took an oxen and had the oxen walk around a circle. And this oxen was walking in a circle with a bar on him to keep him in a fixed position. So the path that he traced out was the path of a circle. Let's continue. A chord of a circle. A chord is a line segment whose endpoints lie on the circle. So if I name this point X, and this point Y, and this point W, then these points lie on the circle. So the chords are line segments that join up. So there's one, W, Y. Another one is YX. And another one is WX. So these are line segments that go from one part of the circumference to the other. So the chords are WY, this one, YX is this one, and WX is this one. And the more points I put there, the more chords I can draw. Practice. Name 3 chords in the circle below. So I've already put the points on the circle, and you have to name. Notice that A is the center. Notice here O is the center. O is the center given. So in that case, the chords are FE, EH, and XW. Again, what's a chord? It's a line segment drawn between 2 points on the circumference. 2 points are on the circumference of a circle, and the segment that joins them up is called a chord. Now there's a special chord called the diameter of the circle. A chord which passes through the center of the circle is called a diameter. So here's the center of the circle. So if I draw a segment through the center, then that's a chord. If I draw this one, and it continues on, then that's a diameter. So this chord is a special one. Why? Because it's passing through the center of the circle. Practice. Name two diameters in the circle below. So we have a circle, center O, and we got the name two chords. Special chords, that is. It's called a diameter. So the diameter passes through the center. So one would be HT. Another one would be TF. And if I drew that chord, that's a chord because the endpoints are on the circle, but it's not a diameter. Okay, let's continue. A diameter is blank, the length of the radius of the circle. The diameter is twice. But we're going to go through that and verify it. Your diameter is all the way through. But you notice that it takes two of these radii to make a diameter. So the diameter on this circle is TV. From there to there. The diameter is a chord that passes through the center. The radii are, and there's OA, OA, OV, OT. OA, OV, OT. And you name a radius. I normally name it from the center out, but it's your choice. If OA is 3, if that radius is 3, then the other radius is 3 centimeters. And OT is 3 centimeters, so they're all 3 centimeters. Oops, I have centimeters in there, so don't do much talking. TV is made up of OT and OV. So if you take TV, it's made up of these two segments. But OT is 3 and OV is 3. So that means TV is 6. Over here I have TV is twice the radius, or 2 times the radius. So if TV is 6, that means that the radius must have been 3. So 2 times 3 is 6. TV is, the radius is 3. We know it's 6 from here, but if we put 3 in the place of R, then 2 times 3 gives me 6. The diameter is denoted by D. You can make it a small d. You can make it a small d. There's a reason I don't make it a big D, because there's something in quadratics coming up later. The big D means something different. The radius is denoted by R. Hence, the diameter is twice the radius. That means 2 bracket R, or it could be 2 times R. So 2R means 2 bracket R, which means multiplication, or 2 times R, your choice. If D equals 2R, then dividing by, if you want to divide by 2 on each side, the 2's cancel because of division. So you get D over 2 equals R. So R is equal to, R is equal to D divided by 2. This is only a way of working the equation to show you. So the diameter is twice the radius, or the radius is half the diameter. Whatever way. You can always keep this in mind, keep this one, and substitute in, as I'm going to show you. Either or. So if I complete the table given the radius or the diameter, so if I give you a radius of 10, then the diameter, the radius is 10, the diameter is twice the radius. So the diameter is 2, and that's the 10, So the diameter is 20 centimeters. Write down your formula and substitute into it. In this one, I give you the diameter this time. So if D equals 2R, and I give you 12 for the diameter, then I can put 12 in the place of D and divide by 2. So the 2's cancel out to give me 1's. So I get 6. Or you could have said that the radius is half the diameter, diameter divided by 2. Some people say a half the diameter, either or. And they put the diameter right here, 12, and they get a 6. Or they go a half of 12 is 6, either or. So you can write down the formula D equals 2R and sub D in and divide by 2. Or you can write down these. It's your choice, whatever way you want to remember it. The radius is 4, so D equals 2R. And the radius is 4, so you put 4 in bracket or times, and you get an 8 feet. And we got 5.8 kilometers for the diameter. So D equals 2R again. And we're going to go 5.8 equals 2R. Divide by 2. And you get R is equal to, that's a 2.9. So that's 2.9 kilometers. Or you want to keep doing the same thing over and over, that your radius is half your diameter. So a half of 5.8, and it's still going to be 2.9. So whatever way, your choice. Your radius is 3 1/4 millimeters. So D equals 2R. That's 2 times 3.14. Or sorry, 3 1/4. It sounds like a pi, but 3 1/4. So we change our mixed numeral to an improper fraction. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13 over 4. And that gives me over 1, so I can cancel. I can get, if I want, I can get 26 over 4 and then divide. 4 6s are 24. 4 into 26 goes 4 6s are 24 and 2 left over. So that's 6.5 millimeters. Or you can cancel. 2 into 4 goes 2. You get 13 over 2. And 2 into 13 goes 6.5 or 6.5. Whatever you want, your choice. So you can multiply 2 by 13 to get 26 and divide it by 4. Or you can cancel and then work it out, your choice. So D equals 2R. Remember, D equals diameter is twice the radius. Now let's go on to what we call the other part of the circle, the circumference of the circle. The circumference, notice distance. I'm talking about the distance around the circle. The perimeter, or the distance around the circle, is called a circumference. Circumference is the distance around the circle, which is the perimeter of the circle. C denotes circumference. So there's circumference. So if I take, this is the, if I take my compass again, and I have it marked that's, what's this? Draw another circle for you. So there's the circle. Takes a while to get used to drawing these circles. And if you take a piece of string and start right here at A, right there, if you wrap your string around the circle, right on that line, wrap your string around until it comes to here, and then take it off and stretch it out, and then put it on your ruler and measure off. Remember now, this is centimeters, so you're going to measure in centimeters. So if you measure off the distance around here, you measure off the length of that string, you'll get the length to be the distance around would be a little more than 6. Now, you're not going to be exact. What happens if 10 students did it and they all measured to the nearest millimeter? You could get circumference is 6 point something. So what happens is that if you measure to the decimal place, like 6.14 or whatever, 6 point, whatever you get, then you write that answer down. So if you think about it, I'm just going to take a guess now. Let's see, what guess will I have? Times, let's say you got measured that and you got 12.6, say. So you wrote that down, 12.6. If many students in the classroom, all the students in the classroom did this, and you all took your average of all the measurements, and you all divided by your diameter. So if D is if you divide by 2, the diameter divided by 2 is your radius. So if you take your 12.6 and divide it by your diameter, which is 4, you're roughly going to get a number called 3 point, and you get a decimal for this. So if you divide that out, 12.6 divided by 4, you would probably get roughly 3.15 if you use your calculator or pencil. If you all did that, you all would get close to 3.15. But we know that the ratio of the circumference to the diameter is called pi. And that pi is approximately, again, 3.14. That's how pi is derived. It's the ratio of the circumference of the circle divided by the diameter. So if you put that over 1 and cross multiply, you get c times 1 is c, and pi times diameter. A times b equals c times d, cross multiplication. So c equals pi d. So the formula, circumference equals pi times your diameter. Or, if you think about it, circumference, if your diameter is twice your radius, then c equals pi times 2r. But most books and teachers, instead of going pi times 2r, they go 2 pi r. And it's all multiplication. So c equals pi d, or c equals 2 pi r. So if I give you your radius, you sub in here. If I give you your diameter, you sub it in here. But it's your choice. So let's work out finding the circumference of a circle to the nearest 100 given the radius and the diameter. So if the radius is 6, you can go c equals 2 pi r, 2, and pi is approximately 3.14 times your radius, which is 6. And if you multiply that out with your calculator, 3.14, so if you multiply it all out, this goes 2 times 3.14 times 6, and you get 37.68. 37.68. But it is already to the nearest 100. The only reason you're asked this, if you punch pi in your calculator instead of 3.14, then you got a long decimal, and then you have to round it off to the nearest 100. But because that's the hundredth place, it's there. And d is 6.7, so circumference equals pi d. And that's 3.14 times 6.7. And when you multiply that out on your calculator, okay, 3.14 times 6.7, just about to do it, 3.14 times 6.7, and I get 21.038. And if you round that off to the nearest 100, it's 21.34. This number is 5 or greater, so you add 1 onto the 3, you get 4, and the 8 becomes a 0. Okay, let's continue. Practice. Practice means that pause your video, work out the answers, and then come back and see if you're right. Here we go. We're given the radius. We got to find our circumference. So we know that the radius, circumference, is 2 pi times r. 2 times 3.14 times 2.1. And again, if you use your calculator, that comes out to be 13.185. And you round it off to the nearest 100, so it's 13.19. This is 5 or greater, so you have to round that up to 1. And it becomes a 0 there, but no need to put the 0 in. So that's 13.19 meters. And we're given our diameter. The circumference is pi d. And that's 3.14 times 3.4. And again, use your calculator on that, and you get 10.676. And you round that to the nearest 100 is 10.6. That's a 5 or greater, so you add 1 onto the 7, make an 8, and that becomes a 0, but I won't put it in, you don't need to. So that's feet. And find the radius to the nearest tenth this time, given the circumference. So that's working backwards. Let's see. C equals pi times, I want my radius. Oh, I better go 2 pi r. I want my radius. C equals pi d is diameter. So if I put my circumference in, 37.68, and 2 times 3.14 times pi, that gives me 37.68, and 2 times 3.14 is 6.28. I'll multiply these two first. Now that I have a what number multiplied by 6.28 gives me 37.68. Well, it's easy. You divide each side by 6.28, and that cancels, and I get r. And if I take my calculator and divide that out, I have 37.68. 37.68 division. What's that number? Ooh, 6.28. 6.28. And I get 6. Perfect. I made it up to come out to be 6. So the answer for the radius is 6 centimeters. 6 centimeters. And what does practice mean? Practice means you work these out. Oh, this one. I'm going to work this one. You can work them all out if you want by pausing the video, see if we're going to get them right. Now I have to find the radius. So given the circumference of C equals 2 pi r, I want the radius. So that's 11.6 equals 2 times 3.14 times r. That's 11.6. And that's 6.28 r times r. And we divide by 6.28 on each side, 6.28. And we get, that cancels out, and 11.6 division 6.28. I get, okay, 1.8471337. So I'll just write down part of that. I'll write down 1.847, and it's going on, but we got to round it to the nearest tenth. So the 8 is in the 10th place. So what happens? This is less than 5, so the 8 stays as it is. They become 0, so the answer is 1.8. 1.8 yards. And got an example here. Let's see. Find the diameter given the circumference. Okay. Circumference equals pi d. I want the diameter. So it's 27 equals 3.14 d. I divide by 3.14 on each side. That cancels out. Remember, they're ones. So 1 times d is d. And you take 27 and divide it by 3.14. So here we go. And 27 division 3.14. And the diameter, notice is 8.59876 is on down the line. So I'll write down a few of them. I write down 8.598. I'll write down 8.598 ... So that means d is equal to the nearest tenth. So there 5 is in the 10th place. This number is greater than 5, so I'll add 1 to the 5. So it's 8.6 and it's millimeters. Practice. Practice means pause the video and see if you can work this out to get the diameter. C equals pi d. And your circumference is 16.9 and it's 3.14 d. And what number multiplied by 3.14 gives you 16.9? Well, if you divide, which is the opposite of multiplication, divide each side by 3.14 and they cancel out with ones. So 1 times d divided by 1 is d, and 16.9 divided by 3.14. Let's see what that will give us. Clear it. 16.9 division 3.14. And it gives us 5.3821 ... And so the diameter to the nearest tenth is 5. The 3 is in the 10th place. That's 5 or greater, so I add 1 to 3 to make it a 4. And the other numbers become 0. I just show you that. But we don't need those because they're not necessary. So the answer is 5.4 meters. And that's working out these diameter and the radius and the circumference formulas. Notice how I worked them. And the radius is half the diameter is twice the radius. And the circumference is pi d, or circumference is 2 pi r. If you like my video, click on the like button, subscribe button, notification bell, and write a comment if you wish. And visit my math website, www.mathfullyexplained.com. And there you'll have different sections. One is on me, degrees, and teaching experience. The other one's on, tells you about the teaching strategies you're going to use in help you learn your math. And the most important is the section on content, which gives you the topics, the number of videos on each topic, and the black font is what's already online, and the red font is what I'll be developing in the near future. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.